From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we'll take a look at the headlines.
The Parakramabhahu ship has been commissioned under the patronage of the President. The Prime Minister says he will take the party forward as a unified collective without allowing any issues to occur within the party. The Beira Lake ferry service commences for the convenience of the passengers. A special Gazette notification said to be issued banning persons involved in gambling into sports administration. Former Indian Minister P. Chidambaram in CBI custody.
For those and other stories in detail, on your top story. The Parakramabhahu naval ship received from the government of China as a gift to Sri Lanka was commissioned today. The ceremony was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The Parakramabhahu naval ship is 11 meters in length and 12.4 meters in width, with the height of 7.8 meters. The President handed over the credentials for the commissioning of the ship to Captain Nalindra Jayatissa. Subsequently, the President engaged in an observational tour in the ship. Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Sheng Shu Yuan, Chief of Defence Staff of the Armed Forces, Admiral Ravindra Vijayagunaratne, Sri Lanka Navy Commander, Vice Admiral P.R. De Silva, Sri Lanka Army Commander, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva were present on this occasion.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that as the leader of the United National Party, he will take the party forward as a unified collective without allowing any issues to occur within the party. While taking part in a ceremony held at Templetrees today, the Premier said that he has given necessary instructions to the party officials to complete the proceedings to build the new alliance. Well, the meeting with the public representatives of the local government institutions in Trincomalee, Ampara, Puttala, Matale, Polonnaruwa, Jaffna, Wabunia, Mannar, Pulethevu, Kilinochchi and Batticaloa districts was held under the patronage of the Premier. Grassroots level infrastructure facilities development for the year 2019 was discussed during this meeting. State Ministers Niroshan Pereira, Vasantha Senayaka, Anoma Gamage and Parliamentarian Nalaka Kolane were present on this occasion. The Premier said that some of the benefits have been distributed among people which have not been given out for the last 10 to 20 years. He said that they have fulfilled their commitments and responsibilities amid many difficulties and challenges. He said that the government ensured an independent judiciary and freedom for the people. He said that these ensured initiatives should be carried out forward and also amid many challenges posed before the government. He said that they are expecting to establish the government in the next term, as the government requires a minimum to 10 to 15 years to develop the country. He said he will take the party forward as a unified collective without allowing any issues to occur within the party. The Premier said that he has given necessary instructions to the party officials to complete the proceedings to build the new alliance.
Minister Sajith Premadasa says that he will take steps to resolve the grievances of all the citizens in the country in future. He made these comments while taking part in a ceremony to vest the Maharaja Valagambag Bridge with the public today. This bridge in Batagassa, Valasmul, Hambantota was constructed under the Samata Sahana program. The ministry had allocated 10.1 million rupees for this project under the instructions of Minister Sajith Premadasa. 67 resident youth in the area received appointment letters for employment opportunities in the Central Cultural Fund. Minister Sajith Premadasa said that the person who is taking the throne should understand the grievances of the people and should be able to live a sorrowful life. He requested the people of the country to appoint a leader in coming November or December months who should be able to balance and face any challenges posed before him. He said that he will not sort for luxury lifestyle and he will continue to engage with the grassroots levels in the country continuously. He said that he will serve better than the leaders who have governed the country since the independence and care for its people. He added that when he is the leader, he will journeyed through all the villages in the country and provide the best service for their well-being. He said that if the people need a leader who can resolve their issues, then empower him without any religious, ethnic or class differences, so he could ensure people's well-being and their future.
Now this is a unique mode of transportation. The Beira Lake ferry service was launched under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. The ceremony was held at the Colombo Fort Beira Lake docks. The ferry service was launched under the provisions of 100 million rupees as a possible solution to mitigate the traffic congestion in the Colombo city. The ferry service is set to operate from Union Place to Colombo Fort. Close to 25 to 30 minutes in average will be taken to complete the relevant distance through the means of road transportation. However, the same distance can be covered in less than 10 minutes with the newly introduced ferry service. The project was initiated by the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development under the concept of Minister Patali Champika Ranavaka. In parallel to the Megapolis project, the ferry service will be maintained under the Land and Development Corporation. A scientific feasibility study was carried out to commence the ferry service along the inland waterways in the city of Colombo. The Beira Lake Transport Service was initiated as the first phase of the project in line with the findings of this feasibility study. The Premier also participated in the first ferry ride. Champika Ranavaka said that the government has invested close to 50% of the capital to develop the road system in the country. However, he said that they were unable to mitigate the traffic congestion in the country, which has contributed to the delay in improving the country's economy. He said that more than 8 million vehicles are on the streets, though only 5.5 million families live in this country. He added that 15% of the Colombo city comprises of roads. The minister said that the expressways are not a solution for this concern, but the public transportation should be improved. Therefore, the government has taken steps to strengthen the light railway system and bus systems to resolve these issues, he added. The minister said that steps have been taken to construct a multi-modal transport hub as well. Ministers Patali Champika Ranavaka, Sagal Ratnaik and John Amaratunga were present.
The new permanent representative of Sri Lanka to the United Nations, Shennika Seneviratne, presented her credentials to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres yesterday. Sri Lanka's new ambassador to the UN, Shennika Seneviratne, called on UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the UN headquarters in New York. She then presented her credentials to the UN Secretary General at the meeting, according to a statement issued by the UN. New Sri Lankan envoy to the United Nations, Shennika Seneviratne, assumed duties as the permanent mission of Sri Lanka to the UN in New York earlier this month following a solemn multi-religious ceremony. Until her latest appointment, the new Sri Lankan envoy to the UN served most recently as ambassador to Thailand beginning in 2015 and was also accredited to Cambodia and Lao People's Democratic Republic. Her foreign assignments included permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva from 2009 to 2011, followed by a posting as Director General for Europe, Commonwealth of Independent States and the Americas at the Foreign Ministry from 2008 to 2009.
The 2019 International Conference of the Bora community will be held in Colombo next month. Thousands of Bora community members are expected to arrive in Sri Lanka to participate in a 10-day spiritual convention, drawing 21,000 religious visitors from 40 countries. During a media conference to brief the convention, Minister John Amaratunga said that this opportunity would be a massive boost to the tourism industry in the country.
Sri Lanka is regarded as a now safe destination. Security forces, the police, the Army, Navy, Air Force and the intelligence has repeatedly certified that Sri Lanka is now safe. I think that next week or so the emergency will be terminated. Then the group that are due to come to Sri Lanka also will take place. At the moment, because of the emergency, there is a bit of restraint on the insurance. Nevertheless, it is picking up, and there should be no hesitation. Our final numbers that will arrive at the end of the year would come to over 2 million, even though despite of the disruptions that we have had. The more important thing also in the midst of this situation is the recent decision by the Bora community to hold the annual convention program in Sri Lanka. We were trying to do it last year, but could not have it so. It went to another destination. Finally, with all the assurances given by the Ministry of Tourism and the government of Sri Lanka, they have decided to have it here in Sri Lanka, starting from the 1st of September to the 10th. So this is a major breakthrough in the tourism, bringing a large amount of foreign exchange to the country, which is much needed.
The Government Medical Officers Forum says today's strike action launched by the Government Medical Officers Association is driven by petty political motives. However, the Government Medical Officers Association said that the maternity and children's hospitals, Maharagama Apeksha Hospital and special renal diseases treatment units will not participate in the token strike. Many patients have encountered difficulties due to the launched token strike. Patients of the Navalapitiya Hospital expressed displeasure over the strike action. Many patients at Vaunia Hospital have also experienced difficulties due to the token strike. However, patients' treatment services in many hospitals across the country were carried out without any hindrances. Services of the Colombo National Hospital also conducted as usual without any difficulties. The Government Medical Officers Forum said even though today's strike action launched by the Government Medical Officers Association was driven by petty political motives, other doctors carried out their normal routine services.
The new Army Chief, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, says that any army in the world is committed to protect the inalienable rights of the country's citizens and create a conducive atmosphere for the democratic way of life. He made these comments in his message on the assumption of office as the commander of the army. He also said that it is their responsibility to protect the reputation and confidence of the Sri Lanka army, which is not second to any armies in the world. In his statement, he has indicated that his intention and also attention will be directed on grooming army personnel who would be equipped with technical know-how that matches with modern and global standards.
Police media spokesman SP Ruwan Gunasekara says that the acting IGP has handed over investigation report consists of 5 cases including the murders of veteran journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge and Raghurait Vasimthajuddin to the Attorney General. He made these remarks at a media briefing held in Colombo today. Police media spokesman SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the Attorney General had instructed the acting IGP to expedite the investigations into 6 high-profile cases, including the assassination of journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge, assassination of Raghurait Vasimthajuddin, the killing of 17 aid workers in 2006, the abduction of journalist Keith Noor, and the abduction and disappearance of 11 Tamil youths, and sent the investigation citations to him. He said that the acting IGP has instructed the CID to submit investigation reports for the 6 cases, including the abduction of journalist Pradeep Eknalirgoda, under 11 factors. According to the CID handed over, the acting IGP's investigation report consists of 6 cases to the Attorney General. He said that the conclusion date of the investigations cannot be announced at present. However, the investigations will be concluded within a reasonable time period, he added. SP Ruwan Gunasekara further said that the investigation of the abduction of journalist Keith Noor case will be concluded within 2 months according to the investigation officers.
Well, how safe is your drinking water? Microplastics contained in drinking water pose a low risk to human health at current levels, but more research is needed to reassure consumers. Well, this is according to a new report by the World Health Organization.
It's not visible to the naked eye, but this cup of water contains microplastics. You're potentially ingesting these microplastics every day, though, according to the World Health Organization, it's nothing to worry about yet.
Well, after having reviewed all the data, I think our message is one of reassurance to potentially worried consumers, and that the health risks that were assessed to be low.
On Thursday, the organization released its first report on potential health risks associated with ingesting microplastics. There's limited data, they say, but so far, that data has been reassuring.
The main message is that the vast majority of microplastics would pass harmlessly through the body.
According to the environmental charity WWF International, plastic pollution has become so widespread in the environment that you could be ingesting 5 grams a week, the equivalent of eating a credit card. A large source of that comes from drinking water, but the WHO says there's a bigger problem when it comes to health threats in water.
Well, right now, there's 2 billion people in the world that are drinking fecally contaminated water, which is a staggering number, and there is almost 1 million deaths per year.
That can lead to diseases that cause diarrhea and even death, especially in poor countries lacking water treatment systems.
So that's really what people need to focus on, especially in Africa and South Asia and places where there's insufficient or inadequate water supply and sanitation.
We momently deviate from local news to bring you news from Asia on our segment Asia in a Minute. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with Zambia President Edgar Lungu in New Delhi yesterday to boost bilateral relations. Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh has said that they fear torture in Myanmar and would rather die than be sent back. China's 5th annual World Robo Conference opened to the public in Beijing today with bionic flying birds, robo superheroes and Tai-Chi playing robos, all on show. Hundreds of Papuans staged a peaceful protest in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta today. The Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps is leading the way in building modern agriculture in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region.
United Nations Development Programme says that necessary assistance will be extended to Sri Lanka to achieve sustainable development goals. UNDP resident representative in Sri Lanka, Robert Joachim, called on President Maithripala Sirisena today. The meeting was held at the Presidential Secretariat. The UNDP resident representative briefed the President on the projects and programs currently underway in the country. The attention of the President's media division has been drawn to a media release issued by the Pakistan High Commission on the High Commissioner's meeting with President Maithripala Sirisena on the 20th of August. The President's media has indicated that the meeting was held at the request of the High Commission of Pakistan. The release further added that the High Commissioner had briefed the President on the recent developments with regard to India's abrogation of the Section 370 of annulling of 35A of the Constitution of India. According to the release, the President gave a patient hearing to the Pakistan High Commissioner's views and stated that both India and Pakistan have excellent friendly relations with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's interest to observe in the growth of regional cooperation and friendship. The release further stated that the President has not made any other comment on the issues pertaining to India and Pakistan.
7th program of the Rupavahini and Ekata program series is commencing tomorrow. This program will be conducted focusing on Jaffna district. The program will be initiated covering all divisional secretariats in Jaffna district from tomorrow till August 29th. The program has been organized by the Presidential Secretariat under the instructions of President Maithripala Sirisena. The aim of the program is to distribute the benefits of the development projects initiated on ministerial levels and projects implemented for social welfare to the public in an effective and productive manner. Another aim of the project will be to provide swift solutions for the unresolved issues of the resident public. The progress review of the program and the closing ceremony will be held on August 30th under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena.
Inter-Religious Symposium on Community Resilience, Religious Leadership for Resilient Communities was held today. The symposium was held at the Hector Kobakadua Agrarian Research and Training Institute. The pillars of resilience project is funded by the Small and Mighty Grants Program of the U.S. Embassy in Sri Lanka. The project is implemented by the Resilience Research, Training and Consulting in collaboration with the Disaster Preparedness and Response Division of the Ministry of Health and Disaster Management Center. This project is aimed at building capacity of religious leaders on community resilience. Under the project, 207 religious leaders from all major faiths in Sri Lanka were trained at 6 locations through a one-day workshop. The contributions from chief and also the guest writers and also the participants who completed the pillars of resilience training were shared during a symposium. U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Aliana B. Teplitz, was the chief guest at the event. Many religious leaders were present on this occasion.
The grants program is managed by Sarvot.
Other one is man-made disaster. Both have to be managed by religious leaders, have to play a vital role in this community. Unitedly together, I think we as Sri Lanka will be strong, steady and beautiful and progressive if this beautiful gathering could work together, irrespective of our religions that we believe and follow.
But thereafter, when this subject became a very professional and highly spoke matter, we also needed capacities to understand, to go beyond the responding component. That is how I think, I, on behalf of all the monks and all the religious leaders, would like to thank Excellency for giving this program to all of us.
I think is incredibly important to communities here in Sri Lanka, but also setting a model for communities around the world. I know some will be recognized today with certificates. I congratulate you on your commitment to your communities, but also your commitment to your fellow man. The Embassy supports interfaith dialogue in general. We have long been a supporter of reconciliation and peace efforts in this country. We do this out of a very committed belief that there is strength in diversity and there is peace in communal harmony. We believe that a community is more than just its politics, and a community is a blend of beliefs and talents. A community is a network. The stronger our connections, the more vibrant and engaged our network, and the more we work together, the more resilient ultimately we become. So improving social cohesion among Sri Lanka's ethnic communities and religious communities has been a high priority for years, maybe even decades, maybe even more than decades. And since the Easter attacks, of course, unity is more important than ever. Reconciliation, respect, and resilience are inextricably linked, and religious leaders like you are uniquely positioned to advocate for the practices needed to ensure community resilience. That's why we awarded the grant for this training and why we have supported other efforts.
Thank you.
Steps have been taken to impose legal action against polluters of Nilvala River, Mathura. State Minister Buddhika Patirana made these comments while engaging in an inspection tour in the river along with the state officials and media professionals recently. Nilvala River consists of a wondrous and rich ecosystem, is the main source to provide drinking water to many areas including Mathura city. Waste disposal points into the river and river blockages were identified during the inspection tour. Housing units, shops and private institutions situated from Mathura to Akurasa areas have been identified as possible waste disposal points into the Nilvala River. It was revealed that the alleged polluters have utilized pipelines for the disposal of household and industrial waste into the river system. The minister also observed sand mining and reclamation activities taking place near the river banks. The state minister has said that legal action will be taken against relevant institutions and a public awareness program will also be carried out on this regard. Officers from Mathura Police, relevant state institutions and local government institutions also participated in the inspection tour. Necessary facilities for the inspection tour were provided by Sri Lanka Navy. On sports news, steps have been taken to issue special gazette notification preventing persons directly or indirectly involved in gambling activities into sports administration. Minister Harin Fernando made these comments during a media briefing held in Colombo today. Minister Harin Fernandes said that ICC is the largest financial contributor to Sri Lanka cricket. He said that ICC representatives are in Sri Lanka cricket scene. Therefore, he said that the relevant officers have carried out their duties in an honest manner. He said that a special gazette has been issued to amend the sports regulations in the country. He added that obliging to ICC recommendations, a gazette has been prepared to not involve any persons directly or indirectly involved in gambling or betting activities. The minister said that he signed the gazette notification, which is expected to be issued in the future. Accordingly, the minister said that certain decisions will be taken on this regard.
The 2019 Kandy Open International Chess Tournament was commenced today. This is taking place for the 10th occasion. Many players from several countries, including Australia, England, Namibia and India, are taking part in this tournament. Vijayba Supercross Motorcars and Motorcycle Racing Tournament is set to commence on the 25th of August at Boigane Tracks in Kurunegala. 3 riders representing Japan and Thailand arrived in the country to take part in this tournament. The tournament will be telecast live on national television on the 25th of August.
And before we wind up, a quick look at the weather forecast. Met Department says that windy condition over the island, particularly in northern, north central, northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee, Hambantota districts, up to 60 km per hour at times. An enhancement of the showery condition in the southwestern part of the island is expected to continue. The Met Department further added that showers or thundershowers will occur at times in western, central, Sabaragamu, southern and northwestern provinces and in Mannar and Jaffna districts. Several spells of showers may occur in Badulla, Anuradhapura, Vavuniya, Kilinochchi and Mullaitivu districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in Ampara and Batticaloa districts after 2 p.m. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thundershowers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity.
Tomorrow's picture, and this is the cue to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.
Good night.